Hey y'all, and welcome back to The Painted Teacher. Today we're going to learn about one of my favorite artists, Romero Britto. And so I'm going to show you some of his work. I absolutely adore his work. He is a living artist right now living in Florida, and I love his work because he uses so many bold colors, contrasting colors, or complementary colors. He uses tons of pattern, and if you can't tell, I'm a huge fan of color, and so I love his work. And so today we're going to continue to talk about pattern just like we did in our last video. If you missed that last video, just go ahead and try to find that there on my page. Go ahead and subscribe and make sure you can find that video because we talked about pattern. And so today we're going to continue to talk about pattern and our artist here. So here again is some of his artwork. We have an apple and some hearts. Take note of lots of patterns that you see. Remember last week we talked about pattern being repeated elements in an artwork, right? And so there are so many patterns that we can find in Romero's work, like polka dots and stripes, flowers. We see the flowers there, smaller little shapes inside here, and like almost like confetti. I love this one right here, the little confetti. So we're going to talk much about pattern, and we're also going to talk about color because that is something that I am drawn to when I see Romero's work, is his bold color choices. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about color. And so color is made when light reflects off of an object back to the eye. And so we're going to talk today a lot about complementary colors and contrasting colors. What that is so you've got your color wheel, you've got your primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, and then all of the colors can be made from those colors, right? Well, on our color wheel, contrasting colors are colors that are opposite of each other on our wheel, okay? And so in Romero's work, we see a lot of contrasting or complementary colors. That is what allows you to be able to see those patterns so boldly. So let's get started. We're not going to choose to do an apple. We did our apples last week. We are not going to do a heart. Today we're going to continue with our fall theme, and we are going to do a leaf. So let me show you my finished product, almost finished product. So here is my beautiful colored leaf, my Romero inspired leaf. Now I didn't finish my background because I wanted my leaf to really stand out for you guys, but you guys are going to finish out your background because Romero, if you take a look one more time at his work, he has the bold shape that you can clearly see that it's an apple, but he also put in his background. I wanted you to make sure that you saw my leaf today, so I didn't finish my background, but I encourage you to, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is you need a white sheet of paper, okay? I'm just using construction paper today. That is my material. I'm using construction paper and crayons, and so that is all that you need to get started. So grab a piece of paper and let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw our leaf, okay? So I'm going to walk you through how we're going to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start, I like to start at the top when I'm drawing my leaves. Now, if you have a different way or a different leaf that you want to use, by all means, please choose something different. I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to go down, okay? So I'm going to do that. Just like that, like a big parenthesis. And you guys can use crayon here. I'm actually using a Sharpie to make sure that you see that. And in my final art piece, I did use Sharpie. That way that line is really bold. So you guys can use Sharpie. You can use black crayon. For this, you can use markers. You can use oil pastel. Again, any material is fine. Any medium that you want to use, I'm using crayons, okay? To finish off our leaf, I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to go around. Make sure when you're drawing your leaf that you make him nice and big so that we can put lots of pattern in there, okay? Also, when you get to the bottom, don't close him up. Notice in my final artwork, I have a little stem, okay? So we're going to put a little stem at the bottom, so don't close that hole just yet. So you can close him at the top, leave him open for the bottom, okay? Almost like you're closing up your parentheses. So that's what we have, okay? Now, to finish our leaf off, I'm just going to connect the two by drawing a little stem, okay? Just like that. Now, to give our division in our leaf, our veins in our leaf, I'm going to come to the very top and go all the way to the bottom with one straight line, okay? And it can kind of curve around if you want it to. Just like that. I went from our top to our bottom, and I hit about the stem. You can go all the way down to the stem if you want. Okay, now here's the fun part. We're going to put some veins in our leaf. So I liked to use a little rounded motion when I went up to draw my line. So I don't have anything to press down on, so I'm going to do this and see if you can see it. I like to go up in a rounded motion, just like that. Instead of going straight across, I'm doing a little rounded motion to make it kind of look like my leaf is turning, okay? So you guys can put as many or as few lines as you want. These are going to be the places that you put your pattern, so keep that in mind as you're drawing your lines. Okay? Now, on our other side over here, last week we talked about being symmetrical, right? And how I didn't really want my pattern to be symmetrical on my painting. And so today I don't want my leaves to be symmetrical either. So instead of putting right beside another line right beside on the other side, I'm going to come a little up or a little below it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So do the same thing to the other side, and notice how my leaves aren't touching this other side. I'm going in between there. That just adds a little bit of fun element to your work, okay? So go ahead and do the other side of your veins. All right. My leaf is all done. Now the fun part, you get to color. So think about the colors that you want to use. Remember what we said, those colors are going to be super important to choose from contrasting colors. Now I have one that I have almost finished drawing, and I wanted to show you that in this one I used all fall colors because fall is coming. I can feel it outside. It's cool here. I don't know where you are in the world, but here it's starting to turn a little cooler. The air is getting a little bit more crisp, and our leaves are starting to turn just a little bit. So on this one, I'm using all fall colors. Now, in my sample that I showed you, I used bright fun colors. So feel free to use whatever you like. So on this one, I've chosen to do some squiggle patterns, some polka dots, some stripes, some smaller polka dots, some little squares. You guys can have fun with the pattern. Think about a pattern that you want to use. It doesn't have to be any of mine. You can take a look at Romero's work, see what kind of patterns he uses. As a matter of fact, let's look at his artwork. He uses a lot of polka dots and stripes in his artwork and just switches out the colors. So have fun with your patterns. Don't forget to use pattern in yours, okay? So I've got a few little pieces here that I need to color in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I've chosen, again, my fall colors. So I think here I've got a lot of yellow going on here. Looks like my little corner here could use some yellow. So I'm going to use yellow and maybe a pink color. I like this pink. It needs some more pink. So we're going to put some yellow and pink up here. Good contrasting colors. So let's see. I've got the polka dots there. So I think I'm going to do some vertical stripes on this one. Just have some fun with it. Use those complementary colors or contrasting colors. Colors that are opposite of each other on the color wheel will help you get that bold look. Now you might be wondering, how in the world did I get my colors so bright? When you are coloring with your crayons, if you're using crayons, bear down on that crayon. Now I am using a big bucket of old crayons. These are some that my kids have used, and they're all broken, but that's okay because broken crayons still color, and they're the best to use for projects like this. Because sometimes when you bear down using a brand new crayon, it's going to snap in half, right? And that's okay. So we want to go ahead and use those broken crayons. That'll help us bear down and get that nice bold color of the crayon, okay? So I've got a few more, and I'm going to go ahead and finish out my leaf. And if you want to pause the video during this time and start creating your patterns, you can go ahead. Let's see. I think I want a nice bold color down here. Let's do some more vertical stripes. Have fun with your patterns. Maybe you want to do hearts. I know in my sample piece there, I did some hearts, and I really liked how they turned out. So maybe you want to choose hearts or stars. Would be a really cool pattern. Maybe you want to get super creative and draw like dinosaurs as your pattern, or ballet shoes as your pattern for all of my dancers out there. Let's see, let's do some smaller little polka dots. I think I want some polka dots. I love polka dots. right, almost done. Now again, you guys have fun with this. Maybe you want to use markers. Markers would be beautiful because they're nice bold colors. Romero is known for his bold use of color and pattern, and so we want those bold colors and patterns to be in our artwork too. Okay, so my leaf is all done. Now we would want to add our background here. So in Romero's work, if you notice, he kind of stays away from choppy patterns around the background because we want to leave our focus to be on whatever it is that we've chosen to color. In our case, it is our leaf, right? So we want that to be our main focus. So take a look at my almost finished piece here. I've kept the lines nice and big here so that we can still see the outline of our leaf. Now, if I were going to choose to do patterns in my background, I might make these some more subtle patterns and using maybe more subtle colors, okay? So I'm done for today, but I hope you will go ahead and do that background. I'd love to see your artwork. I've seen some of your apples already from last week and they look amazing. Great job, guys. So go ahead and finish out your leaves today. And don't forget about our artist, Romero Britto, and his wonderful use of color and pattern as you color today. I had so much fun with you today, and I hope that you will join me next time on The Painted Teacher. Bye, guys.